Welcome back to our YouTube channel here at ArmorTech. Today we've got a CF Moto XL UForce 1000. It's a 2023 model. This is CF Moto's Crew Edition. Before we get too far in our install of our doors, we'll go over the tool list. Before our install of our doors, we'll need to remove our netting, our bolster bars, and our seatbelt buckle. A 10mm socket with our impact. We'll remove the two bolts on the seatbelt buckle. Next, we'll remove these plastic sections here and here to allow better access to get to the bolts on the bolster bars, as well as install our striker brackets. We'll pull this piece, set it to the side, lift up our bed. We'll remove the two plastic rivets in the rear panel, and there's one more in the lower front section. Use our flathead screwdriver to pop those out. There's a bolt we'll need to remove right inside of this access hole. Use our 10mm socket and remove that bolt and pull the plastic. We'll remove the plastic on the B pillar in the same fashion. You got 3 plastic rivets as well as one in the lower front. Now we'll pop the seat forward, discard the backrest, and we'll remove the bolt in behind that piece of channel using our 3/8 drive ratchet, our 10mm deep barrel socket, and we'll remove the plastic. Now we'll remove the front bolster bar utilizing our impact, a 13mm deep barrel socket. And we'll replace these bolts back in the original holes in which they came. Now we remove the rear seat backrest. We'll remove the Allen bolt using a 6mm Allen wrench. Now we'll remove our 2 lower bolts, again with our impact and 13mm deep barrel socket. And again, we'll store these bolts back in the factory holes in which they came. Next, we'll locate our hardware bags, which should be inside of our set of jams. And we'll want to try to find bag 79. In hardware bag 79, we'll locate bracket 905X-E. All right, it'll be 2 nuts with 2 tabs welded, and they have a little bridge right here in the center, and we'll want to go ahead and break those apart. We'll just twist them back and forth, and that's going to be our backing nut for our striker bolt. Also in bag 79, we'll locate our long striker bolt as well as our spacer bushing. We'll want to remove the washer off of the striker bolt and put our spacer bushing onto the threaded end. We'll take bracket E, our backing nut tab, hold it behind the bottom slot. We'll get our striker bolt started. We'll place this bolt somewhere about center. We'll snug it up using a 3/4 wrench. Now we'll reinstall our plastics in the same way we took it off. Now we'll locate our hinge out of bag 29. We'll want to separate these. We'll save the male pin for the door. This will be a right hand hinge, so your female barrel will be on the bottom. We'll affix this to the two slots in the upper section and the lower section of the jamb. We'll utilize bolts 1/4 by 5/8 Phillips pan head, and we'll fasten with a flat, a lock washer, and a nut. And this hardware will come out of bag 16. We'll loosely start these on both the bottom and the top slot. And we'll flip these over. We'll adjust this hinge and get it center of the slot. We'll lightly snug it finger tight. Again. Now we're going to locate bracket 905-B. Now this bracket is found with the front set of doors will be bag 78. There'll be a pair of those. There's also a pair in bag 79 for the rear set of doors. Okay, so you should have 4 of these in total. We'll pop the seat forward. The bolt that the seat belt connects to, we'll want to loosen it. Just loosen, don't take it all the way off. We'll use a 17 mil deep barrel socket. We'll locate bracket B, and the slot right here will go right here behind the seatbelt bushing and up flush to the plate. Bracket B should rest on the plastic with the 90-degree bend coming towards the front, and we'll go ahead and tighten this down. We've got our logo jamb. That comes with part number UCCF 905. That's actually the front set of doors, but we're going to utilize the jamb out of that box, and that will move all the way to the back pillar. We've already mounted our hinges as we previously shown you, and now we're going to assemble this to the unit. In bag 79 of UCCF 905X, which is your rear set of doors, there will be a 6 mil by 60 mil length flanged head bolt. We'll remove the nut, insert it into this slot, and affix it to the threaded portion of the cage. In bag 79, we'll locate our 1/4 by 1 inch Phillips pan head screws, as well as our 1/4 inch flat washer and lock nut. And we'll go ahead and place our bolt into the lower hole of the jamb through the bracket, the dash B bracket we just mounted. And we'll back that with the flat washer and the lock nut. In bag 79, we'll locate bracket 905X-D. All right, should be 4 of them. And this is going to wrap around the back pillar here. And these 2 slotted holes will bolt up to the 2 mounting holes in the jamb. We'll wrap the legs around the bar. And in that same hardware bag, we'll locate our 1/4 by 1 inch bolts. We'll back those with the flat washer and a lock nut. We've started all of our hardware. It's all loose. We still have some wiggle room in our jamb. We want to make sure we're seated all the way to the rear of the post. Okay. And now we're going to start with our top bolt using our 10 mil socket and our impact. We're going to snug that down. And we're going to back this with our 6mm jam nut, also found in bag 79. Take our 10mm wrench and just lightly snug. Now we snug the remainder of our hardware utilizing a Phillips P3 bit in our impact and a 7/16 wrench to back the nut. We'll start down here at the bottom. In bag 79, we've got our 6mm by 16mm little short bolts, and we're going to affix bracket F. This is our sealing strip, and it will bolt in to the pre-tapped holes here and the two where the seat belt was. We can go ahead and start the bolts. Alright, now we'll take bracket F and we'll slide it back in behind the bolts with all of these slots. It will match up. Also at the top of bracket F we have tabs top and bottom, and the tab that goes upwards, there's a weld on this post. This has a perforation to where we can bend this back a little bit to where this will set flat all the way against the post and miss that weld. And now we'll tighten these down. Next, you'll mount your jam that's non-logoed. Comes with part number UCCF 905X. Alright, that'll mount to the center post or B pillar. Before we go along too much farther, I'd like to point out some differences in our brackets. In the UCCF 905X door, you'll have bag 79. There you'll find bracket 905X-D. However, in UCCF 905, you'll find hardware bag 78, 905-A bracket. You will discard this bracket, and this bracket will take its place. We've already mounted our center jam in the same fashion as our rear jam. Bolted the top 660 bolt as well as the bottom and install of our bracket. Bracket 905X-D will wrap around this crossbar and catch the back side of the post. And we will affix this with a 1/4 by 1 inch Phillips panhead screw. 2 of them. And back those with a flat washer and a locking nut. Now we'll mount the male portion of our right hand hinge onto our door. In the same fashion, we'll use our 1/4 by 5/8 Phillips panhead screws into the lower and the upper slots of the door. We'll back those with a flat washer, a lock washer, and a nut. Again, all of our hardware will come out of bag 16. Now we'll set our bolts center of the slot, and we'll just tighten those down finger snug. Now we'll mount the door to the jam. We'll turn the door out 90 degrees to the unit. I'm going to kind of hold my thumb on the bottom hinge and watch my top. And work that down. Next, we'll locate our door handle along with our handle gasket in bag number 10, and we'll affix the handle to the door right here. Break apart our gasket. Go ahead and mount the gasket onto the face of the handle. We'll place that over the mounting holes on the door. In bag 16, we'll locate 3 of our 6 by 25 mils bolts as well as our flat washers, and we'll use that to affix our handle to the door. And now we'll tighten our bolts down with our impact and 10mm socket. In bag 16 you'll find our 6mm nut. However, in bag 79 we supply a 6mm by 40mm fully threaded bolt. We'll go ahead and put our jam nut onto our bolt, and you'll want to press the button of the handle all the way through the hole where you can access it. We'll set this jam nut about 3/16 of an inch, 3/4 threads, and thread that into the end of the push button. Ready? Now we'll lock that down with our 10mm wrench. Now we'll mount our latch assembly to the door. We'll find the latch assembly pre-assembled in bag 79 along with our 8mm flange lock nut. In bag 16 we'll locate our flat washer and our 8x16 button head screw. We'll put our washer on to our screw, come in the outside of the door, and then get both of those in. We'll mount our latch closest to the outside of the door. 2 holes of our bracket will go over the screws, and we'll back those with our flange lock nuts. Now we're going to adjust our hinges in the door prior to adjusting our latch. Just going to kind of hold it shut, and we're really going to analyze our body lines as well as the gap in between our jamb and our door. I'll open up this window a little bit. We'll go ahead and shift this door up some to match these body lines up. And we want just a little bit of gap. And we'll go ahead and tighten this hinge up. Now that we got our height, we want to get our gap in line. You can use a wrench or head of a screw to kind of maybe shim that and give it a good look over and make sure everything is evenly spaced. And we'll go ahead and do a preliminary tightening on the door. Alright, this is our latch assembly that we found in bag 79. We just mounted to the door. I want to point out 3 main points of adjustment. Where the main assembly bolts to the door, we've got front to back adjustment. Where the 2-piece plates bolt together at this location, you've got up and down vertical adjustment. Where the plate bolts to the latch, you've got axial in and out adjustment, and you also have a slight bit of adjustment in and out with the striker bolt itself. I've tightened everything except for the mounts to the door itself. The reasoning for that is we want this latch to be perfectly perpendicular to the bolt. As you can see, we're cantered forward, so we need to rock that back and get that squared up. I'll go ahead and tighten the door onto the bolt, and now we'll affix it and tighten the 2 mounting bolts up to the door. I've got the window open here. We'll use our 5mm Allen wrench. We'll back those bolts, and then we'll go ahead and tighten this down with our 3/8 drive ratchet and our 13mm deep barrel socket. Now we'll test the fit of our latch. It's the first click. That's our double. Let's make sure that all of our hardware is secure and tight. For more information on our front door install, we'll go ahead and click this link up in the top right hand corner of your screen. We hope you enjoy these doors. They're done. Enjoy them on your next ride.